Hi Leo, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for October. I'm going to go over the astrology really quick and then we're going to get into these cards. I do want to say up front that there are some serious health aspects that are going on both in astrology and in your cards, Leo. So emphasis on health in this reading, if that's not resonating for you, might save you some time from listening to this, but I have a feeling health issues are going to kind of be at the forefront here. Okay, so looking at the astrology for October, Leo, it's a time of culmination, and October has a potential to feel very chaotic. It is not all bad, because I think a lot of the things that happen are leading ultimately to breakthroughs that we need in order to get to our next level of personal growth. So I don't want to spend a lot of time focusing on the negativity at all. I mean, and my best advice to you, especially because of the transits that are hitting, the Sun in Libra in your third could talk about burnout and some of the things that can happen when we're going through these kinds of transits and this kind of tension, you know, collectively, is we kind of embody those emotions. We kind of embody that chaos. And sometimes that can lead to physical symptoms of burnout, physical symptoms of illness. And it could be, quite honestly, from things in your surroundings. So, you know, the third house transit could be certain things going on in your neighborhood, viruses certainly, like if maybe you're living in a place where they're having somewhat of an increase of the virus, you know, you want to kind of steer clear of that, and also be really careful with the mask wearing, you know, the hand sanitizers. Just be extra vigilant this month. You can always avoid the crisis, right? We have free will. We don't have to make things really dramatic. We don't have to reach these horrible culminations and these big tower moments if we kind of follow the signals early on in the month. And I think it's important to really pay attention to the signs from your body. If you're feeling run down, rest. Invest in some vitamins, supplements, be a little bit more mindful about what you're eating, chemicals that you're putting in your body. Also, there's a big emphasis with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter now moving direct in that 6th house, that you could actually reach breakthroughs for your health. Now, this could be mental health, physical health. This could be about facing addictions and starting new cycles there. So I don't want to make it seem like these things are going to overcome you. I find this to be more of a breakthrough month for Leo, more of a finding the answers, getting to the bottom of issues, admitting defeat in some way so you could find the people that can help you to get you back on track and to honor your health. Now, there's an emotional aspect to this month as well. You have Mercury going retrograde in your 4th house. Also can represent illnesses within your mother, your parents, the need of taking care of other people. You might come up with a lot of things that are getting Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury retrograde is a classic time of, you know, like leaks in the basement or home needing repair. What it does is illuminate any cracks in our foundations, and that goes emotionally. It can go to physical dwellings, your actual home, your place of business, even wherever you consider to be roots. And certainly playing out in ancestral information. It could even be like having a family reunion, something happening within the family that you have an opportunity to maybe see people that you haven't seen in a long time. There's almost a return to home kind of feeling. And October might bring you to the point where maybe you have to allow other people to kind of take care of you, Leo. Now, we have Mars retrograde in the 9th house. You have Uranus making some beautiful aspects from that 4th house. It's opposing Mercury. So it's like cleaning out that old baggage, that old emotional stuff, because there's breakthroughs coming that will progress you towards, you know, your future, the things that you want to develop. And in the 10th house can really be, it's so much more than career. Oftentimes it plays out in our career. However, it's really your legacy, your destiny, your purpose. Now, I use that term loosely because it changes and you know, but the 10th house is kind of a reflection of what you want to leave behind, how you want others to remember you, what do you want to be known for? And it's really a place in our chart where we step into our power. And that's very evident in these cards. So I don't want to scare anybody and say this is going to be a horrible month for you health-wise or anything like that. I don't feel that way. I think there's a lot of luck. I think there's a lot of breakthroughs. But it's going to be through adversity in some way, having to surrender to some stuff, allowing other people to help you so that you can overcome this. All right, Leo, let's get into your cards. You are coming out this month as a messenger of air. There's an element here of detachment, and I think it's a detachment from other people's expectations. Let me get into things a little bit. Messenger of air is definitely the need to communicate, and you may be doing some serious communication this month. I honestly, when I look at this card, I don't always get it, but I feel a heart opening here. Messenger of air, and this feels very much like a feeling of releasing, of moving forward. There's forward movement, but it comes from a very logical place. So it's like freeing your mind of some really old, that's 9th house Mars retrograde, old embedded beliefs that you have about probably the way things you should go. You know, if you're kind of in that, because I feel a solemnness about this. And it's almost like coming to terms of acceptance over disappointments, allowing yourself to grieve, allowing yourself to talk about things that hurt you at a very deep level. These are like deep, dark, not necessarily dark, although they could be with Mercury in Scorpio and the sun moving into Scorpio. They may be. But there's a need to purge these things. And I think that messenger of air is almost a blessing. And I'm not sure how hard it is for you to reach that place in October, but it's a promise that you will reach that place where you will be open for advice, open for healing, open to other people's love and help and assistance. It's a heart opening. Now, your environment card is that of the Chariot in reverse. This is kind of the card of where we get in our own way, okay? There might be high expectations of yourself, high expectations from other people, expectations that you put. This is like pressure that is on you. And it's so much pressure that you are literally unable to move. There's zero progress. And it's almost kind of like a analysis paralysis kind of feeling. We want something so badly. We want to achieve something. We kind of want to get things moving in a direction. And yet we face a lot of adversity. And usually the Chariot card is a need to balance your willpower and your strength and your need to connect to others. It's kind of, it's an ego balancing card, this Chariot in reverse. It sort of tells me that you're not fully in control of your surroundings this month. There's a sense of not having power here. Maybe something is a little bit out of control. Maybe your emotions are out of control. Maybe you're dealing with a bout of depression. You know, the Chariot in reverse can oftentimes represent a period of depression. Also coming out with some other cards that you have here. It's the inability to move forward, being stuck in the past, being stuck in some emotional old stuff that hasn't quite been dealt with. Okay, maybe you've gone through some really rough years in your life and you have not been able to stop progress. You've not been able to reflect and heal on the things that needed to be healed. This month is definitely a month where, like I said, if you think about like having pipes burst in a basement or some kind of something like a sewer backing up in your basement, that's kind of like this Mercury in the 4th house. It could quite literally be sewers backing up in your basement, or it could quite literally be a lot of unresolved trauma from your past that is kind of, you're unable to ignore it anymore. You're unable to get any form of progress in your life. This is definitely brick wall energy. You're not able to plow through this. These are things that have to come to the surface to be dealt with. Now, I like the fact that you have this, meaning that your situation is a little bit out of control right now, and yet the overall energy is the Emperor. This is where you gain your control. Now, the last card, and I'll get to that further, is about reclaiming your power, and that's exactly what the Emperor is. So again, I think that you're going to overcome the things that you have to experience. I think that these are things that are going to really make you take control of the things you can control in your life, okay? I like that energy. It truly balances things out. It means that the problems are exposed and you have the things that you need. You have people on your side that you can easily regain your stability here. Now let's take a look at your 9-card block. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse, telling me that there may have been, well, let me show you all three. 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Swords. First off, there are a lot of cycles in your life that are ending at the same time. I see that heavily here. I see that there might be cycles in both your career and your love life that are kind of a little bit overwhelming. All right, let's talk about this King of Pentacles in reverse. In all honesty, the King of Pentacles in reverse can come out as super controlling, and I don't like that energy. Controlling, possessive, very jealous. This is kind of where you spend a lot of time comparing yourself to other people, which means that you might be talking to yourself somewhat negatively. You know, negative self-talk, not liking the way that you look, not liking your physical body, not liking your home or your environment. There's an element of not being grateful for the things that you have. Now, we can get into that sometimes. And oftentimes when we are going through a period of depression or any kind of mental or physical health, the King of Pentacles can symbolize a lack of control and a lack of stability in our lives. And what happens when we have that lack of stability is instinctively we try to control our environment. We try to hang on to things even if they're not working, even if they're not in our greatest good. And sometimes the things that hurt us King of Pentacles, become a comfort, okay? This is where I talk about forms of addiction, because there could be things in our lives that we know are not good for us. We're not good for our vibration. They're not good for our stability. They're not good for our foundations, right? And yet you seek comfort, and you kind of get stuck there. King of Pentacles energy is very stubborn. It's very stuck. It's very prideful. It can oftentimes indicate levels of greed. Sometimes it could represent somebody who's quite simply a workaholic, or just super focused on financial things, super focused on somewhat of the superficial part of life, right? Maybe there was a heavy emphasis on making money, having the nice hot car, having the nice house, having the things that really impress people, okay? King of Pentacles next to the Ten of Cups means that there's somewhat of a disconnect between what you thought you wanted, what you were investing in, and what you truly want, what would truly fulfill you. Ten of Cups is about family. It's about emotional connections to others. It's about really putting our priorities into love. And when I see that come out next to the King of Pentacles, it tells me that there's pieces and parts of you that are being transformed so that you can start to see the things that you are grateful for in life. I have a feeling that your perspective is going to shift. I have a feeling that you might be making some really big moves in the beginning of October. Now, that Ten of Swords next to the Ten of Cups tells me that if there are areas of your life where you're kind of juggling two different scenarios, you're really fully invested in your career and yet you're trying to, have a family, and you're feeling overwhelmed, like something has to give. That's kind of that Ten of Swords energy. But the Ten of Swords energy here tells me that there's some major burnout. Quite literally, this situation has to end. It can't go on. It's clearly dead. There's 10 swords in this. There's a sword in the head. Your thoughts, remember when I talked about that Chariot being somewhat of a analysis paralysis? This is kind of being exhausted by all of the decisions you have to make, exhausted by some of the ways, the Seven of Swords is kind of the self-sabotage. And it grows into the Eight of Swords, which makes it become very real in your outside world. It closes you off to other people and connecting, leading to the Nine of Swords, which makes you feel very isolated, alone, and depressed. And then here you are at the Ten of Swords, meaning something has to give, something has to end, and you have to probably ask for help. This is completing a karmic cycle. This is taking your control back by allowing something to end. If there is an addiction in your life, this is kind of rock bottom. If you are overworking yourself and not nourishing yourself, not paying attention to your health, not paying attention to your love life, that Ten of Swords, like I said, it can really represent burnout. It could really represent just being exhausted. I know I felt, especially over this full moon, these past few days, absolutely physically exhausted. And it was to the point where my body hurt, my back hurt, I had some inflammation, joint pain. And that's that kind of exhaustion. And it doesn't have to be a major illness. It could just be the need to kind of take a few nights to go to bed early. Just kind of make sure that you're getting enough sleep. You know, the 10 of Swords can be where you're so irritated that you start lashing out at other people. Remember, you're in the messenger of air, so communication. And I think there's something about your mental and physical health playing a pertinent role in how you communicate with others and open up to others. There's choices here. There's choices in, you know, attacking others who want to help, attacking others that want to love you and nurture you, pushing them away. That could show the actual emotional detachment. And the other path is to admit where you're struggling, admit where you need help, admit that there's things that can't keep going this way, and be open to people working with you. See, the thing is, the Chariot in reverse is that you may not be real open to working with other people this month, and yet you're going to be forced to. You know, the Chariot is where you're not cooperating with others so much, and that really is the provocation that gets you to this breakthrough. Now, next to that King of Pentacles is the Earth Keeper, card number 18. And I'm going to read this to you. This is definitely reflective of your health and your physical dwelling, kind of. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need whom you may not have been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets and feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. Okay, focus is going to be on other people and connections this month. Whether you are open to that or not, the universe is going to kind of force you into it. As the medicine card, as you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So begin with the stewardship of your health. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. So there's adjustments on your routines, and that's really what the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter going direct was. It's a restructuring of your routines, of how you nourish yourself, and that's everything from the thoughts in your mind to the sugar in your coffee. Okay, it's all the same thing in the end. Investing in yourself. Now, next to that 10 of Swords is card number 9, the card of Breathe. I love this card. This is definitely an energy of just taking a moment to be a little bit zen, right? I'm going to read this card to you as well. Now, card number 29 breaks down to an 11, which is divinely orchestrated events to me, which tells me that you really might be coming across some sort of a health crisis of some sort, or a crisis in your routines, a crisis in your time management, a crisis in the way that you think and connect with other people. Patience, waiting, going slowly, wellness, meditation, and trust. Patience in all things is called for right now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course. Meditate and trust. Breathe and repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time to allow the life-giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses, breathe in the sunlight, and release the darkness. Miracles will occur. The relationship message for this, because we're focusing more on connecting with others this month, don't be in too much of a hurry right now. The heart needs time to open. Take a breath and let nature take its course. Release constriction and anxiety, for there is no need for tension. Savor the moment, and the waiting won't prove difficult. Your heart knows what the ego often resists learning. Patience pays off in deep and meaningful ways. I really like that. All right, now moving on to the second row. Oh my God, we're at 25. These readings are crazy long. We have the Lover's card, the Ace of Wands, and the Temperance card. Now, this is where those relationships really start to take focus. We're probably looking at mid-month. We're having a sextile between Jupiter and Neptune. It's kind of the highlight of a really shitty month. So I'm glad it's showing an emphasis in your cards right now. So this is a softening within a sextile between your 8th house and your 6th house. So interesting things here is, number one, your relationships and the people that you're with and your emotional surroundings are very important to your physical health. We have to be with the right people in the right such situations. If you are somebody who is somewhat isolated right now, meaning in that depressed state of mind, not opening up to others, it is in the opening up to others. It is in, 8th house is a really beautiful place of surrender. It's a beautiful place of authenticity, the ability to be yourself, the ability to express your needs, the ability to truly connect at a really deep level. It's all about allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So I think after taking somewhat of a rest, after kind of addressing some mental or physical health issues, maybe just a need to nurture yourself and slow down, take a break from work in some way, there's definitely rejuvenation, and there's definitely people headed your way that really do hold a key to the next phase of your life, is what I want to really express to you. Now, this Lover's card coming out underneath the King of Pentacles in reverse tells me that there is a choice. And I think it's a choice to choose connecting with others. That King of Pentacles can really be very stoic to the point of sabotage, right? Like, people can see that you need help. People can see that you're overwhelmed. And yet, when people say, how are you doing? Is there anything I could help you with? Let's be honest. Like, if you're sick, if you're physically sick, like you have the flu or something, there may be a need to say, call your mom or something and say, I really need that pot of chicken noodle soup. And, and this is like people that will show up for you. As soon as you're willing to make the decision to tell people what you need, I think they're going to step up. They're going to show up. Now, the Lover's card comes out next to this Oracle card, which is that of relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Now, if you were in a situation and this Ten of Swords reflects some sort of a breakup or an ending in a relationship, or even an ending in, it could be like a family member that you decide you can no longer talk to or something like that. When you leave somebody or something behind in your life, that energy is always replaced with something new. That is a law of the universe. There's no getting around it. We make space for new things to come in. Okay. This is a new thing coming in. Now, it does not necessarily have to be a new thing. If you were struggling in some areas and pushing people away, I think the middle of the month, there's a breakthrough. There's an admittance that you want closeness, that you want partnership in your life, okay? And I think the right people will either come back, they will be, and I just feel like they intuitively, I'm hearing they've been waiting. King of Pentacles in reverse could mean people are waiting as well. They've been waiting for you. They've been waiting for you to open up. It's a long time coming, I hear. Ace of Wands in the center of your reading. This, again, is another indication of your heart opening, your passions, expressing yourself, expressing your love, and it's definitely opportunities. It could also represent even a form of sexual healing in some ways. I'm hearing conception as well for some people. So if that's not something that you want, be careful. Actually, I'm hearing breakthroughs. So I mean, if that's for you, if that's for you specifically, I think it's like maybe you've been trying to conceive for a while, and October kind of brings this sudden development. Maybe you realize, I don't know, that there's a health issue. However, it's something that's solvable. It's something that's solvable, and it kind of removes that block. I don't like ovarian sisters. I'm not a doctor, but I'm seeing that scenario play out kind of clearly, you know, getting to the bottom of the health issue so that your dreams can really come true, because 10 of Cups above an Ace of Wands is being able to grab that opportunity for fulfillment. Now, next to that Ace of Wands is Temperance, meaning, again, there's that this will take time. It's not an overnight process. There's divine timing at play here. So it's indicating to me that whatever it is that you really want, whatever it is that you're really trying to attain or achieve here in a new and healthier way, there's renewed hope with Temperance. Oftentimes it can represent two people getting back together, a reunion. And next to this, and I say that a lot because the emphasis on relationships here. Next to this is another oracle card of adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So ultimately, and this is the whole Mars square Saturn theme for you. I'm just looking at my notes right now because I'm drawing a blank on where your placements are. Yeah, that Mars in your 9th with Saturn in your 6th, there's like restriction there, and with time, and you know, Saturn going direct and Pluto going direct is kind of a funny energy in a lot of ways. I think that it's going to play out for people because Saturn is going to be like, no, you have to do it the hard way. Like you can't take shortcuts. Nothing is going to be easy. Things aren't going to just come to you easily. You're going to have to work for things. You're going to have to put in more effort, more time than you usually would. If you're somebody who's like very used to things just happening quickly and naturally for them, like snap of the fingers, they get whatever they want, like master manifestors or whatever, you're gonna hit periods of adversity. It's intentional because it's building you. At the same time, this energy can kind of bring you to your knees. Knees represent Capricorn. And it's a realization of the things that you're not in control of. And it kind of forces you to take control of the things you can. And it stops you from trying to control outside circumstances. Pluto going direct can really put an emphasis on having to face our fears. having to face fears of intimacy, fears of connection, those sorts of things are very Pluto-like. So there's a lot of shadow work going here in order for you to be able to reach this kind of connection, this real connection and mending of two people, the Lover's card. There's going to be certain levels of adversity, and you're going to have to put in some effort. And the Ace of Wands indicates that you will have the stamina that you need to get through these situations, okay? The focus, the drive, the ambition, it's there for you. The strength is there for you. The willpower. If you're overcoming addiction issues, you could certainly, luck is really on your side. Now let's talk about luck, because your next oracle card is New Moon in Sag. Now I'm looking at this. Yes, there could be major breakthroughs. Absolutely. You have Uranus in your 10th house. So lucky breaks in your career, lucky breaks that come to you through authority figures. Lucky breaks, 10th house can represent a lot of things, but it really does represent your destiny. So in some ways, if you're lucky enough, you have a career that you're extremely passionate about, but not everybody does. It could show up in volunteer work that you do, a hobby, something that you really enjoy. But the 10th house is kind of your legacy, what you want to leave behind, and it has a lot to do with your karma. So you might just be, getting a lucky break this month. And actually, as a timing card, New Moon in Sag, this lucky break might really come in late November, early December. I'd have to look at the ephemeris to get you a solid date. But whenever this new moon in Sag is occurring. Now remember, the new moon is lining up with the south node. So there's going to be an emphasis on karma there as well. Maybe karma that's owed to you in the past life shows up. And it could as well reflect somebody from your past life, which represents a soulmate. So this is telling me that when you do this work to kind of get you to a place where you could really open your heart and connect, the universe is going to give you exactly what you're asking for. This Ace of Cups is an opportunity for love. Ace of Cups represents unconditional love. So oftentimes I also see forgiveness. Now I'm picking up some indication of there being a reconciliation here between two people coming back together. Ace of Cups tells me that there is forgiveness here, that there's a new start. And it's very loving. It's very nurturing. Now, I like that this Seven of Wands in reverse tells me that there's some stuff you're willing to compromise on, okay? When I see that Ace of Wands and that 10 of Cups, it's like this great inspiration to go after something, and this thing is your dream come true, your everything. 10 of Cups is the picket fence, the family, the kids, the everything that you ever wanted. And when I see the 7 of Wands in reverse here, I actually like it, because I think it means that you've done a lot of work to remove any form of resistance. And I know it sounds crazy, Leo, especially you're ruled by the sun. You kind of really do adore life, and you're very optimistic at times, but it seems as though you had to go through this level of adversity so that you can shift and become really grateful for the things that you have. And in turn, you open up your heart and you release any resistance to your dreams coming true. It's really a beautiful way of winding all of this up, because it's intense healing right here. I think sometimes we get so attached to achieving a dream that we are actually afraid when it happens. There's a death process there. Oftentimes you hear stories of people, and a postpartum depression is a beautiful analogy of this. Oftentimes we are put through a period of time where we're really looking forward to something. We're really intensely, planning a wedding, being pregnant, having a baby, a new job, a big move, going to college. We can't help but really focus so much of ourselves into those things. And then the wedding day comes, or the birth comes, or the first day of school comes, and then it's over. You go from having these big, giant dreams and expectations to a blank canvas, and you have to adjust to it. And so there is this inner fear within each of us of reaching our ultimate happiness. We don't realize that, but subconsciously we do a lot of things to sabotage our actual reaching that level. And I think that's what gets addressed. Anything that's holding you back, Leo, anything in your life that's kind of making it hard for you to grow, is simply going to be an obstacle that you overcome in October. And there's a lot of growth here. Next to this card of progress, of releasing, the Seven of Wands, is the World card. So there's a blank canvas, and then there's a new karmic cycle. The World card can be second chances. It could be things coming back to you from the past, so that you can take your new knowledge, your new emotional stability, and invest that into the situation. Whatever it is, you're in a karmic loop right now, and this might be a repeated pattern. Maybe there was a lot of repeated things in your life, repeated people. You get to the point in relationships where you realize you're kind of dating the same people but a different face. It's because there's something that needs to be healed here. And I think October brings you a healing so that you can close out a certain chapter and start a new one. Next to the World card is Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. This is Pluto moving direct, and this is beautiful. I'm going to read this one to you. Card number 44. So again, it's a very divine number, and 44 represents stability. It represents, well, I'll read you the card. 1 second. It takes courage to face challenges, and right now, Panther Spirit is here to say that you are braver than you think. Now is the time to take a risk and step into a different aspect of your being. Speak as you have never spoken before. Act as you have always dreamed you might behave. The courage to act. Love fearlessly and fully, and expect to feel the adrenaline rush as you are initiated into a new, braver, bolder self. Panther Spirit says the time for dreaming about what you want to do is giving way to that first courageous act toward reclaiming your Panther Spirit and power. Your new identity may feel strange at first, but you have what it takes, and your soul wants this. So be bold. I'm going to read the protection message as well. I really love these, and I think it's important. I'm so sorry your reading is so long. Are you feeling shaky because you have made a bold move and have not yet seen confirmation that everything is going to work out? October is not a month for conclusions. Or is fear holding you back? Are you afraid to act until all risk of failure has been removed? Oh, I like that. The moment when there is no urging of your the moment when there is no risk whatsoever will never come. So follow the urging of your Panther Spirit within and look your fear in the eye. Have you ever heard the famous line, the only thing we do have to fear is fear itself? Stare down your fear and it will retreat and make way for your courage to fill you head to toe. Perhaps you are afraid you can't trust the power that is rising in you, and you fear the qualities you will find within when you look deeply at why you resist the challenge before you. Every part of you, no matter how dark it may seem, has a light quality. So be bold and face it. Own the light and make peace with your shadow. Spirit trusts you, so be brave and trust yourself. Oh my gosh. And I don't know why I didn't pick up at this before, but the 11, the 44, the Chariot card has 2 cups. I'm sorry. Mercury retrograde is kicking my ass. 2 horses, balancing the light and the shadow, our dark side, our fears to our dreams. How do we invest? If you know the story of the moon card, which talks about the story of the 2 wolves, one is a friendly dog and the other is an angry wolf, and the idea of whoever gets the majority of your personality and your energy is the one that you feed. So do you feed yourself with things that make you angry? Like watching the news, being on social media, talking about politics, all of that stuff? Or the things that bring you love, that nurture you? And as well, that comes up with the 2 people in the Lovers. So this is very much about regaining your balance and taking back your power. And in that, finding equilibrium within your relationships as well. Okay, and let's not forget that Temperance does hold 2 of Cups as well, meaning that there's 2 people coming together, or a meeting of both energies, both the feminine and the masculine, in kind of alchemy. So, the finding the diamond within the stone, right? Okay, so please remember to hit the like button, and I should really start to ask that at the beginning of the videos, but if you wouldn't mind, it's helping the algorithms and it's helping the channel to grow. I really appreciate doing this for you. I'm sorry this reading is a couple days late, but they come out when you need to hear them. And a reminder to feel free to comment if there's any way I can help you through with certain issues. I am going to be opening up very soon with personal readings. Probably now at the Mars square Saturn isn't the best time to initiate. However, if you do feel that you need additional help, please feel free to comment, and we could talk some things through. It is a very serious time for mental health for all of us. So remember to be very gentle with yourself. All right, Leo, love you so much. Have a wonderful month. Take care.